Catch and fire. It's on the... He made it! Oh my God! Wow!
Hello and welcome inside Platt Arena. I'm Ryan Lockhart, joined by my good friend and colleague for today's action, Carson Watkins. Carson, we got a great one on our hands today. It's the receiving votes Huntington University Foresters coming in at 20-8, 9-7 overall, taking on the Taylor University Trojans. The Trojans are 25-3 this season. In conference, they are 13-3. So far, having a good season. Right now, Taylor and Marion fighting for that top spot in conference. We'll see how they do. Before we get too far into our pregame, though, we do have senior night here tonight. The guys was last night. The girls getting their honors. A special night here tonight, no doubt about it, for these three seniors, Sarah and Aaron Moore.
Absolutely. You know, we've seen Sarah Fryman, as we mentioned previously in past games, she's a leading scorer on this team. Overall, 1,018 points in her total career. Right now, she's number 2 in total scoring in Division II NAIA basketball. And, you know, same for Sydney Indegrone and Aaron Moore, two really great players who put their heart on the floor. And I believe, if you couldn't hear them on the PA, they said that Sarah Fryman will be one of the best players to wear Forester green. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, no doubt about it. We have quite a few Foresters for the women's team up here in the rafters, but no doubt about it, Fryman, one of the greats as well here for Huntington. If you look at some career stats first, Aaron Moore, number 5. Moore, the senior from Payne, Ohio. Moore's played in 101 career games. She has 450 career points to go along with 190 career rebounds and 71 total steals. Her high in points is 21. She got that this season. Her high in threes is 3 in a game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals. Absolutely, and those are just impressive stats. You know, she comes off the bench quite a bit and adds a spark, and that's exactly what you need from a player like her. Cindy Entgroin, one of our other seniors, she's played in 77 career games, has 192 points to go along with 138 career rebounds. Her high in points is 19, rebounds it's 12, field goals she has 7 in a game and 3 assists in a game. And Entgroin has come off the bench for the majority of her career, but I think she's been able to be a very hard worker and a very enthusiastic player for Coach Culler. Absolutely, and you do mention, you know, those bench players, you know, they don't have the best reputation in the world, unfortunately, but, you know, once you get that bench player and you add a spark, that can always help a team. Especially last year, we saw a lot of times the Foresters struggle to win games after going down and being outscored in a period, maybe by 20 points a couple times that we saw. I think what we saw Taylor last year, it was tied up at halftime, and by the end of the third quarter, they were down about 20, and it was too late for them to call back. And that was because the Foresters had a lack of depth on their roster, but they've reclaimed that in their last recruiting class, and that's why they're doing so well in conference play this year. No doubt about it. And last up, Sarah Fryman. We already talked about her a little bit, but Fryman's played in 117 games, the most out of these three seniors, to go along with 1,818 points, 565 career rebounds, 202 assists, 150 steals, and 111 three-pointers in her career. Her career highs, 36 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, 7 steals, 5 threes in a game, and 16 field goals in a game. Absolutely. She has carried this Forester team pretty far this year. And, you know, we saw the entire season from game 1 against Indiana Tech. You know, she hit a couple late shots, and the Foresters were able to pull off that game only in overtime by 2 points. So we know this team is important. We know this team can fight, and especially Sarah Fryman, especially if she gets it behind the arc. Yeah, no doubt about it. Mention these two teams, Huntington in conference 9-7, the Trojans 13-3. Taylor this season ranked number 7. They've dropped from number 5, what they previously were ranked. But, you know, Coach Jody Martinez in his 3rd season here for Taylor, 79-19 in his 3 seasons, 488 and 203 overall, a very respectable coach. Absolutely, and, you know, we've seen this program be built up from the ground up, and as you mentioned before, you know, a number 5 to a number 7 ranking. But the one thing the Foresters can't do, as I just mentioned, us beating Indiana Tech in the very first game. Yeah. At that point, number 4 Indiana Tech too. And number 4 Indiana Tech. So they cannot be intimidated by that number 7. And, you know, even if they win tonight, that could be good for what conference standings going into the tournament. Yeah, no doubt about it. An emotional night here. The girls beside us here giving out hugs to the seniors.
mention emotional, but Huntington right now on a 1-game win streak, Taylor only on a 2-game win streak. Now previous, they started out the season on a 22-game win streak, tied their mark from last season, which they won 22 straight. So the Trojans just continuing that dominance, and without Kendall Bradbury, Aubrey Wright, and a few other seniors that graduated. But it was kind of interesting because you think a team that lose arguably one of the best NAIA players of all time in Bradbury, they lose her, you think Taylor would regress and have to rebuild. No, they just reloaded, Carson. The Book sisters, a big reason for that. Coming in respectively, Becca books at 16 points a game and Abby books at 15.7. But Carson, this whole team, this Taylor team, they just play together very well, and they just love to play basketball. You can see it through all their games going back this season.
Absolutely, and even if you look at the individual rankings, they have quite a few people ranked in the top 50. We see Meredith Deckard at number 1 in three-point percentage. We see Becca Books at number 2 in three-point percentage. So number 1 and 2 behind the arc. That's going to be dangerous for this Forester defense, unfortunately, and so they're going to have to really watch those three-pointers because if they can run away with this game quickly if those aren't capitalized on.
Yeah, Deckard does come off the bench for most of the games. She does have 6 starts out of the 28 games played this year, so even more dangerous is how she's able to come with the second unit and be really that go-to player. Carson, outside of that, one of the key players for this Taylor squad, Taylor starts 5 seniors, by the way. So you talk about, kind of getting some younger people mixed in that development. Taylor going with experience this season. It's paid off for Coach Martinez, you can see by that 25-3 record. But outside of that, I was watching a few videos that Rob Johnson, Taylor's commentator, did about, their preseason report, midseason report. And one thing I noticed from that is Coach Martinez talked about how all these girls, they integrate with one another. It's not, I'm a senior, you're a freshman. It's, we're Taylor basketball players. And that's really, you can tell, once again, that record, you can tell by that, and they've really proven it.
Absolutely. Sometimes that does become a conflict in group settings like basketball, football, a seniority factor that some people get a big head about, if that's the phrase I want to use. And, that maturity that these seniors show by doing that, knowing they get that start in their stat book, and then, taking the C and letting the younger talent shine. As you mentioned, they reloaded, and that's what's going to, you're losing 5 starters, 5 senior starters, and that's going to be tough for this team. But this team was an NAIA national tournament. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they went pretty deep, if not at the Final Four.
To the Elite 8.
Yeah, they went to the Elite 8 last year. So this is obviously a tough opponent for the Foresters tonight. But once again, the intimidation factor, they cannot be intimidated if they want to come away with a much-needed victory tonight.
No doubt about it. Taylor 7-3 in their last 10 games, but in their last 6, only a 3-3 record. They lost to Marion, Grace, and St. Francis this year. Those losses by 13, 6, and 14 points respectively. Their last game, they did beat Mount Vernon. They were led by Jamie Netzley with 25 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. Now Netzley, along with that performance and another one, would go on to garner Crossroads League Player of the Week honors. But Carson, for Huntington, they're 5-5 in their last 10 games. Last game against Bethel, they won 84-75. It was the bench that really propelled them in that game, though. Elena Rongos, new career high for her with 21 points in that ball game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 10 of 15 from the field, Carson. We talk about efficient with the Trojans. Rongos efficient in the last game. Deja Drake also 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Efficiency 5 of 5 from the field and 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. Hamill, probably the most key stat of the ball game, no doubt about it, Carson. She had a triple-double with 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, matching that of what Sarah Fryman had last week in the game we were able to call. So it's interesting. Fryman gets a triple-double. Sam Hamill, I think I want to get a triple-double too, and she gets it there.
Absolutely, and once again, that's teamwork. Those two girls click so well together. You can see they're friends. I believe they have matching tattoos, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you are correct.
And so, these girls click very well together, and this has to be an emotional night for Sam Hamill, and so you can expect her to ball out, too, for her best friend.
Yeah, the Foresters only shot 4 of 16 from deep, 25%. We talk about how hot Taylor is from deep. The Foresters are going to have to improve on that if they want to win here tonight. Number 7 comes into Platt Arena to visit your Foresters. Taylor 25-3 on the season. Huntington 20-8. They're receiving votes this year. Taylor on the road 8-3. All 3 of those losses coming on the road. Huntington on the other side, they're 12-3 at home with some big home wins there. Both these teams, one good on the road, one good at home. They match up tonight in those respective states. We'll see how it plays out here. I'm Ryan Lockhart with Carson Watkins, and this is HU Women's Basketball right here on FDN Sports. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back inside Platt Arena. Once again, Ryan Lockhart with Carson Watkins on your call here for tonight's broadcast. We're going to take you through our starting lineups first for the visiting Taylor University Trojans. Carson, take us through them.
All right, as you mentioned before, 5 senior starters, so obviously 2 more games for them. But first we have number 12, Haley Stratman, a senior forward, 5'11", from New Palestine, Indiana. Then we have Jamie Netzley. She's also obviously a senior guard. Then we have Sydney Huffman, another senior, Indianapolis, Indiana, Franklin Central. You know, they are a very powerful basketball school and a very powerful athletic school in general, so obviously a lot of help there. And then we have the Books sisters, number 40, Abby Books from Angola, Indiana, and Becca Books, senior guard, also from Angola, Indiana, and you need to keep your eyes on them tonight.
No doubt about it. And now for your home, Huntington Forcers, 20-8 on the season, their overall record. Starting at guard, a 5'4 junior, number 10, Jade Clement. Starting at guard as well, a 5'7 junior, number 20, Sam Hamill. The big tonight, number 55, the big center, 6'1", Alex Bope. Starting at forward, number 5, Aaron Moore, the 5'10 forward. And rounding out the starting five, the 5'9 forward, number 12, Sarah Fryman.
Absolutely, and we're going to see the tip-off here. One thing, you mentioned Alex Bobe. She's quite impressive. She's leading this team in blocks, and that's going to be big in the paint, especially if they're going to need to move there as the Foresters grab the tip-off.
Huntington in their home, olive green jerseys, green numbers, green letters. The Trojans in their away purples. Moore takes a shot, and the senior nets it first. The assist by Fryman there.
A senior battle right there, and they're going to need to set a tempo for this game. But playing defense right now, as we mentioned, that three, the Taylor Trojans can kill you with that three, and they're going to need to watch out for that and protect the perimeter.
No doubt about it. Now, Becca Book's going inside. Ball gets stuck momentarily. Fryman the rebound.
That ball appeared to defy gravity for a minute. Kind of rolled there for a second, but no dice for that one as Clement grabs that ball.
Now inside they go to Bope. Moore not expecting that one. She's in trouble. Finds Hamill. She'll pull the trigger. Three, no good. Clement was there. Not sure why she didn't go for it, but nevertheless, Trojans now with the ball.
She kind of pulled a Cam Newton in Super Bowl 50. She dove for it and dove back away. Little bit of a tidbit for my football fans out there.
A minute off the clock here, and your home Foresters lead 2-0. Carson, we look at keys to the game as Hamill gets a steal there. I think about the only key to the game for the Foresters, perimeter defense. More a three-pointer off the front of the iron, no good. But perimeter defense is going to be good. Taylor has taken 800. Maybe if I could read the right stat, Carson. Trojans have taken 812 threes this season. Now, that seems like quite a bit, and rightfully so, it is a lot. Huntington on the opposite side, they've only taken 420 threes this season. Leading three-point shooter for the Trojans, Becca Books with 101 on the season. On the opposite side, it's Jade Clement with 36 for Huntington. Fryman the step back, and that's short.
This appears already to have to be a game of rebounding. Both sides struggling to grab offensive rebounds, and that's going to be interesting to see as the game moves on. But that the more 101 made three-pointers is obviously a great stat. The fact that you're still about 500, as she is even more amazing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Books the number 2 on her team, but also number 2 in the nation. A block by Bope. 6'1", Bope got up for that one and got a hand on it. Hamill doesn't have numbers. Elects to give it back to Moore. Moore had a look. She'll give it back off to Hamill now. Back to Moore they go. And the Foresters move the ball around the left side of the perimeter. Fryman in trouble, and now there's going to be a foul down low. That's going to be on Netsley, I believe, as it is their first foul for them.
That was Bope's 17th block on the season, so she's obviously using that 6'1" frame to her advantage. It does appear that she is the tallest girl out there tonight, so she's going to have to use that to her advantage from beyond the perimeter, but especially inside the paint.
Fryman's first free throw good. Second one on the way, and that one drops as well, and now we have a 30-second timeout from Coach Culler, up 4-0. We're going to keep it right here with us. 7:35 remaining in this first quarter here. Carson, early timeout by Coach Culler, just getting her girls together here, but what do you think about the 4-0 lead so far from the Foresters?
That 4-0 lead is quite impressive, but they have done exactly what you said they need to do. They played really well defensively. Taylor's only gotten 2 shots off and obviously have missed both, so they're sitting at 0% from and haven't even taken a three-pointer yet. So if they're going to keep continuing that perimeter defense, they're going to have to do that. And this Taylor Trojans team does not want to go down tonight, but neither do the Foresters. Any competition, but especially on senior night, this game means a lot more to these senior girls.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Starting the season at home, beating the number 3 team, and then beating the number 7 team at home too.
Trojans started off the year ranked number 17. Made it up to 5, but Netsley a three-pointer here, and they get it going early. The Trojans left her, the Forcers left her open. And Netzley able to net that one, cut this to a 1-point ball game early.
That perimeter defense definitely wasn't there. She did have a wide open look, and that's not exactly what you want to see if you're Coach Culler.
Moore finds some open room, doesn't do anything with it though. Clement, Fryman in the corner, 10 on the clock. Fryman gets Abby Books around. Fryman goes down hard, but they're going to call a charge on her.
I think about 4 different girls fell over. I couldn't quite see all who fell over, and Coach Culler with their arms up, but I think she did have her feet planted. That was a great move by her.
Fryman trying to cut through that double team there, picked up the foul, her first of the game. We'll have to keep an eye on foul trouble. 3-pointer here, no good. Hamill the rebound. That was Becca Books with the 3. Netzley tried to poke it away. Now Clement, corner 3, good! The Foresters hit here, 7-3. They lead this one.
That was a rare miss for Books, so we're going to have to see how that affects her, and if that's going to play a mind game as Foresters playing great, and a foul called on the floor.
And that one's going to be on Becca Books there. Carson, we talk about fouls. This may be a game where we see both teams have to go rather deep into their bench. Both teams only play about 8 players, and once you get in conference, that's kind of what you expect, about 7 to 8 players, but foul trouble could have a difference in that. Fryman misses everything there.
You don't have to say it on foul trouble night. That wouldn't be a fun senior night to get fouled out for one, but besides that, as the Foresters pull out a rebound, these refs look to be calling, the big, not even the big things, a couple of smaller things that not a lot of people notice. They're paying really close attention to details, so you have to watch out for that because you don't want to have to sit out this game.
Skip over to Hamill. She'll take the 3. No good. The Trojans playing off on that. Now Hamill comes up with the steal there. Almost like a wide receiver to go back to your football reference and just snag that out of there.
Playing well around the perimeter right now as Fryman's going to drive in. She's going to be, the ball looked to be grabbed from her hands. I was afraid that if that foul wasn't called, there might have been an up-down, but the foul will be called anyways.
Stratman the one picking up the foul. And now our first substitution of the day. Huffman sits down. And our first minutes of the day, number 3, Meredith Deckert, the 5'5" sophomore guard from Martinsville, Indiana, by way of Martinsville High School.
First one goes down. Another thing to mention, I mentioned how the Foresters can't be intimidated by the ranking of Taylor, but they have faced 10 ranked teams this year, and the first 4 teams in the Crossroads League are ranked. As a 3-pointer missed, Fryman grabs a rebound, but all these ranked opponents, especially when the 4 people ahead of you in Crossroads League play are all ranked, it's going to be really important for the Foresters to get past that and win this game tonight.
Fryman to Bope inside. Bope going to work. Bope extending the forearm. Another foul called here. That one going to be Bope's first one of the ball game.
Good call. You did see her push off quite a bit there. That was a risky move for her in the paint, especially with the official right there.
So far, team fouls 3 for Taylor, 2 for Huntington. Stratman faked a little jab a couple times. Deckert the handoff. And Stratman, her own teammate, comes down on her, but Netzley able to get it to fall.
That was great. That was great offense there and great passing by the Trojans. You saw them moving the ball around. Even when the ball was knocked out of the air by Bope, they were still able to grab it and charge in there for that too.
Handoff. Moore will take the 3 now. Left that one short. Fryman able to chase down that rebound. No one picks her up, but now Aaron Moore, short corner, left side, no good. Fryman and Bope both crashing the boards. Neither come up with it. Becca Books, left side of the floor. She has it. Hamill gives her some trouble, and that's going to be a turnover for the Trojans. Number 5 on the day there.
Couple substitutions coming in now for the Foresters. We see Deja Drake coming in, only a freshman, but she has played really well off the bench, as has Elena Rongos, 2 freshmen. So we see the Lori Kohler putting in that freshman talent, especially losing a player like Sarah Fryman. There's going to be big shoes to fill come next season.
No doubt about it. Kick over top of the key. Rongos with it. Short corner left side. Good.
Nothing but net right there, and you see her loving that corner shot, and that looks to be her sweet spot tonight as the first one just rolled off, but that one does sink.
11-5, your Forsters up here now. Ball got poked away by Drake, and now we're going to have a tie up here, jump ball, but it stays here for the Trojans. Outstanding defense so far by Jade Clement. Challenged a couple shots here, and I believe Deckert drove on her earlier. Maybe it was Netsley, and Clement able to alter the shot and get her to miss.
Winning that tip did screw over the Forsters just a little bit there, but now they have possession going into this next one. There's another steal for the Forsters. Once again, playing great defense as Sarah Fryman gets tackled. Now they're going to see another jump ball. And it will stay for, now it will be Forster possession. Are we playing football tonight? I'm a little bit confused, Ryan. Seen a couple girls fall to the floor, a couple tackles, but it looks like we're just going to keep playing now.
Substitution here for the Trojans. Jamie Netsley will take a seat. In her first minutes today, we'll see number 23, Madison Fisher, the junior 5'11" guard. Drake in trouble, gets it down low. Fryman uses the glass. Not much room, and it looked like Abby Books might have took one to the face there. Immediately grabbing at her face. She looks to be okay, though. Fisher with it. Good screen set by Abby Books. Becca Books guarded by Fryman. Deckert now looking for some open room. Not a girl to leave open from deep. An uncanny miss from her. 13-5, your Forsters are up. Tarangos down low. And a bad pass from Drake there leads to a turnover. Carson, it looked like Huntington just a little bit quick there on that fast break.
They were incredibly excited to get down the floor, it appeared, and that pass was pretty. She did have a wide open pass. It could have been a lob, and I don't think it would have been intercepted, but play does have to resume.
2:43 on the clock. 13-5 is your score. Taylor looks inside, nothing there, and the ball's just going to go out of bounds. They were looking for 55, Gretchen Mall, the 6'4" freshman. Yes, Carson, 6'4", I said it.
I think she might have been put in there to counteract Alexandria Bope, so we're going to see how that plays out. She's actually having a seat right now. The shot goes not in, but she's going to have to counteract. So if Alexandria Bope gets some playing time here when she's out there, it's going to be an interesting matchup to see in the paint. Now here comes the Trojans. We're going to see number 3, Ariel Day.
Deckert brings it up. Trojans quite offensively. They're only 1 of 4 from deep and 2 of 8 from the field, shooting 25% respectively in both those categories. Now Deckert looking to move around. Hamill almost got Taylor. Fisher gets open and can't hit that one. 6'4" Mall gets it, but blocked by Drake. And the Forsters now looking to push it. Hamill with it under 2 to go. Fryman thought about it, the stop and go, pull up, off the left side, no good.
And another battle down there below these rebounds right now. Forsters doing well on rebounds, 6 rebounds for them. So we're going to have to see how that continues for them. And as I mentioned, this is going to have to be a game that's going to be one.
Mall looking to get through in the paint. Now they'll kick it back out. Becca Books wanted it. Fryman all over. 9 on the clock. Deckert trying to get open now. Fryman got a hand on that one. Fryman or Drake got the block. We're not sure. We might give it to both of them, to be honest. Now Clement, Drake in the short corner. And they'll kick it back out. Outstanding defense so far by Huntington in this one. Shot blocked by the Trojans.
We see one thing from the Trojans, they're moving the ball up pretty slow, which is unexpected. And the Forsters are looking more towards a up-tempo game with another three-pointer miss. Certainly uncanny for this Trojan squad.
Trojans now 1 of 5 from deep, and the Forsters are going to slow this one down with about a 20-second difference. Culler calling out the play for her girls. Once again, thank you for joining us here on Senior Night inside Platt Arena. The handoff to Hamill. Deckert read it perfectly and picked that pass right off.
Shot clock is dead. Sorry, Ryan, just a little too quick for you. It appears the Trojans are looking to take the last shot of this quarter.
Martinez calling out the play for his girls. 5 on the clock now. Deckert comes out for the 3. They give it Becca Books. She'll put up a floater. No good there. Mull wanted it, couldn't get it. Good defense by Rongos. And 13-5, your Foresters take the first quarter. We'll be back for some second quarter action here on the other side of this break. This is HU Women's Basketball right here on FDN Sports. And welcome back inside Platt Arena. Once again, Lockhart joined by Carson Watkins. Your Foresters lead early here, 13-5 in the first quarter. Looking to upset the Trojans here on senior day inside Platt Arena. Carson, a good first quarter by Huntington. They caused 7 turnovers by the Trojans. How do you think that can kind of help this matchup? Well, they only let them shoot 1 of 5 from deep.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be only 5 points in a quarter is certainly uncanny for this Trojan squad. And once again, another turnover for the Foresters. They're taking away those possessions, they're taking away those shots, and once you miss all those shots, especially if they can. The problem right now is the Foresters are unable to capitalize and get points off those turnovers. If they can start capitalizing on those turnovers, this could be a game changer.
No doubt about it. Rongos was in trouble looking down low to Fryman. That ball bought it out of the way. Now into Fryman they go. She'll pull the trigger. No good. Becca Books comes up with the rebound. Be number 3, for her in the ball game. Carson, an interesting stat from that first quarter. Both Books held scoreless.
Once again, uncanny. And you mentioned there'd only probably be about 7 or 8 players, but I believe there are already about 9 in this rotation for this Trojan squad, and a lot of the young blood and a couple of the seniors took a seat. So definitely an interesting strategy here by Coach.
Foresters get the ball over. Fryman, she runs in Books. Rongos finally gets it over. And you see the intensity pick up here for the Trojans. Definitely something Coach Martinez most likely talked about. Corner 3, good! Sarah Doyle, 3. She subs in and gets her first points of the ball game.
Foresters up 11 on one of the best teams in the
wow!
country.
Whoa, my!
Oh my goodness! Look at that! She is amazing!
What a save by Sam Hamill. Got a hand on it, grabbed it again, threw it. Now the Foresters looking to do something with it. Drake a 3. They cash it in there! 15-5, your Foresters roll in your day here.
What did I say? Is not looking for an L today, and they're fighting their butts off to make sure that W comes in their way.
Stratman giving it. Becca Book, she'll take a 3, and now she hits her first shot of the day here. They got to keep the Book sister cold here inside Platt Arena.
Coach Martinez calling for a full court press. The Foresters have struggled with that the last couple of years, so we're going to see how they respond to that. Sarah Doyle for another one.
Hamill the rebound. No good. What? I don't know about that one, Carson. They're calling a foul on Hamill down low.
I do believe she did get her arm did get hit, but I'm not sure if there was an elbow thrown or something, because there was a Trojan girl down, and I'm not exactly sure why or how.
Huffman brings it up for the Trojans. 19-8 your score here.
Another 3 could be a momentum shift for this Trojan squad that they much need.
Last bucket was a big 3 by Books. Got her first points of the day here. Stratman thought about a 3. Now Books with it. 7 on the clock. She's in trouble. Inside Stratman they go. She puts one off the glass and good.
Now here comes that full court press again, and this lead has already been cut down. 5 points. The Trojans already matched last quarter, so they're going to have to keep moving the ball around, but the Foresters can obviously capitalize on a couple offensive possessions here. Could have a great lead going into the half.
Inside to Drake they go. She lost her dribble there. Trojans come up with it. Turnover number 5 for Huntington. The Trojans, they have 10. Stratman, too strong. Netsley gets a hand on it. They're going to say Hamill the last hand on it. It stays here for the Trojans.
They both kind of tapped it like almost maybe milliseconds apart, so that's a tough one. It's a long three and a momentum shift for the Trojans, and that full court press will stay as that three was hit by Book.
Fryman, good defense there. Deep three by Books. Carson, one of those plays as a basketball player will crazy. 19-13 your score here. Shot good by Rongos, that little step back. We see Fryman hit it a lot. Rongos may be adapting and putting it in her toolbox.
Absolutely, and we're going to have to see as another drive, and here comes the Books again. Now this ball is going to be just passed around the perimeter, and Forrester's playing great perimeter defense. And a foul will be called.
That's going to be on Fryman. That's going to be number 2 on her, and see Fryman a little frustrated there, and Hinkgrone's going to sub in here for her. And I believe they're going to go ahead and take a look at this one.
All right,
they're going to see who the foul is on here. 21-13 your current score right now inside Platt Arena. 6:13 on the clock, and Carson, you look at these two teams right now. 8-8 is what it looks like here in the second quarter. But Huntington led 21-13 at one point. But right now, Taylor on a little run. What does Huntington need to do to halt this run, Carson?
Well, for one, they need to stay out of foul trouble, and I think if this foul turns out not to be on Sarah Fryman, it could be huge for this team, especially because they need her in there, and that second one's already kind of inching towards getting out of it and also inching towards a bonus. So we're going to have to see how that works out for them. And we're also going to have to see what they can do. They're going to need to have to keep playing perimeter defense and watch the Book sisters, especially beyond the arc.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Also, for the Foresters, we've seen them shoot pretty well, but they're having trouble grabbing offensive rebounds, and also they're struggling a little bit on the passing side. We're seeing them move the ball around pretty well. There's been a couple interceptions that didn't need to happen, and a couple of tip balls that went out of bounds or just balls that were fumbled. And those little errors can take away your possession and take away at least a chance at a shot. And so those little things eventually start to add up for a team and could spell trouble.
The official still talking about it here. You see the replays we're providing you. Once again, we want to give a big thank you to everybody that helps us here at FDN in the back. I believe it's Miranda Gus that's working replay here for us. Want to give a big shout out to her for all the work she's doing here.
Once again, I want to thank Kobe Solms. He worked really hard. We had a little bit of trouble with the monitor earlier in the year, but he did get it working. And in critical situations like this, it's glad we have this out here. And Miranda Gus back there working hard to make sure we get the right replay. Well, unfortunately, we cannot find a replay, so it does appear that the foul will stay on Sarah Fryman. Now it has to be frustrating for Sarah Fryman after having to take a seat in her senior night.
Fryman will sit down, leading the Foresters in points, rebounds, and assists. 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. So we talk about how big her impact's been this season, but tonight, nevertheless, the same here as Abby Books hits her first free throw.
She's about an 87% free throw shooter, so that's obviously a dangerous weapon, especially if you send her to the line, and the full court press does remain as Sam Hamill's going to be trapped in the corner.
And we've seen the Foresters have trouble with this before, but it seemed like for, a few games they were able to get through it. Now this ball tipped out of bounds. It's going to stay here for Huntington.
Trojans putting on the pressure now. You know, they had that great offensive use as here comes Sam Hamill. She's going to dribble this one out a little bit. She does a little turnaround, and she does travel. She did move a little bit, unfortunately, and that will be a Trojan ball. A stolen possession just by that travel.
And Huntington committing their 6th turnover. We saw turnovers be good for Huntington in that first corner. Now starting to hurt them a little bit. Inside pass to Books. Fisher a little bit high there.
Trojans already in double digits. They have 10 turnovers so far in the night, but this full court press could be a game changer, especially if they cannot get it across in the 10 seconds needed.
Huntington going to have to change up what they're doing here for their full court press because the Trojans really putting on a lot of pressure here. The Forcers have open players and can't get it to them. We're going to see our first timeout here of the day. It's going to be taken by Coach Culler. Actually, our second, 21-15 your score. 30-second timeout. We'll be right back. Welcome back inside Platt Arena. Once again, your Forcers lead this one 21-15, but the Trojans have stayed right here in the second quarter and have looked strong. Drake now driving inside. Looked like she got poked. She takes the contact and gets a bucket.
Good job by her, especially because she had to get through about 3 defenders to find that basket, but the Forcers on doing well again.
Forcers looking to stay strong defensively. The Book sisters pushing a little bit there. We saw push-offs called early in this game. Last few that could have been called not. Now outside Fisher looking to give it up. Netzley now looking to drive. She finds Abby Books. Forcers help defense good there. And it's going to be Doy that comes up with the missed shot. 23-15 still your score. Huntington trying to make it a double-digit lead here.
A little surprised that they didn't immediately get on Hamill with a long two, and that's going to be in and out. But the Trojans didn't immediately get on Hamill, and they decided just to run down and start playing defense playing defense on their own end.
Ball gets tipped around. Foul inside as Abby Books was bobbling it there. Foul's going to be on Drake. Her first of the ball game, and that's going to send Abby Books to the line. She currently has 2 points in this ball game. 4 points in this ball game.
2 of those did come on free throws, and now she's going for that classic three-point play, and she gets it.
23-18 now your score. Scoring update otherwise. We'll try to bring you some of the Crossroads League scores here as our game goes on.
Right now, as you mentioned, with 5:30 left in the second, Indiana Wesleyan University taking on Grace by 15, and an IU win tonight could be good for the Foresters overall. Sam Hamill's going to inbound this one.
Speak about how that could be a good thing, Carson. Both teams tied at 9 and 7 right now in the Crossroads League standings. Doy puts up a shot, no good there. Heavy contact there. Stratman back. Abby Books gets a 3. That's good. 23-21 now your score. The Trojans have stormed back here inside Platt Arena.
Absolutely, and one thing, this full court press was a game changer already, and so we're going to see how Coach Culler is going to respond to that. She's going to have to call another timeout and draw something up or just wait for the half. As a long 3 from Hamill doesn't even hit the backboard, or doesn't even hit the rim. Now here comes Books. Books sends it off to her sister. Pivots over there. Top of the key, look at anything. And that one's going to go out of bounds into the Trojan bench. As Coach Martinez yelling from the opposite end of the court, a little frustrated about what's going on. You know, I'm sure he's happy that his girls stormed back in this one, but does not want silly errors to cost him this game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I know he won't be happy about these early 11 turnovers. Stratman now takes a 3 with 7 on the clock. High, no good. Drake the rebound, but Decker applying pressure right away. And Carson, the Forsters turn and run down the floor. They're going to have to change that little there because of this full court pressure that the Trojans are putting on them.
Absolutely, as we see a long two from the free throw line. She drills that one.
Groin, the senior, able to hit that one. Get some points here on senior day. So right now, all 3 seniors have scored in this ball game.
Definitely a good way to leave Platt Arena, you know, after spending quite a few years here, practicing in here, living here pretty much. You know, getting a few baskets before you have to say goodbye is always a good thing.
Huffman with it. She's looking drive. Kick to Deckert. The 3. Good.
Good.
She leads the NAI in 3-point percentage, and she's been hot tonight. She puts the Trojans down 1 here. Inside to Entgroin. They go back to Hamill. Forster's good passing here.
I think that one was just about the NAIA logo, so about between half court and the 3-point line. So quite a long one for her, but she does drill it with nothing but net.
Entgroin picks up her dribble, in trouble, gets it out. Rongos, 8 on the clock. Thought about the setback inside. Sydney, they go the turnaround off the right side, no good. Under 2 to play here. The Trojans have an opportunity to take their first lead of the day. Inside Stratman, they go a little bit too high. Kick out Becca Books with it. Huffman, right wing, good, no good, excuse me. Looked like it was good from our angle here. Now the Forsters, they have numbers here. Elect not to use it.
I know we see Sarah Doy, and I'm also kind of curious if Coach Culler is going to put Sarah Fryman in with her 2 fouls or not risk it and just wait for her to rest at the half.
Rongos takes one from the elbow, too strong there. Rongos for a career high 21 points last ball game. Not able to be as efficient here tonight. Ball looked like it went off Books. It's going to stay here for the Trojans though. 25-24 your score, 103 here in this first half.
23 seconds remaining on the shot clock will be important as Huffman decides just to take it back and set something up.
Huffman looking, drive, gets around Entgroin. Entgroin able to alter the shot. Second one up and good though. Huffman, I think, wanted a foul there.
One thing I mentioned was rebounds. We saw Entgroin. She kind of turned around a little bit too early and led to that 2 points.
Now to Doy they go. Doy had the 3 when she checked in, but's been quiet since. Rongos with it outside. Hamill thought about the 3. She's looking to drive. Top of the key. Goes with it for good. Missed her last 2, but cashes in on that one. Regains this lead for Huntington. 13 on the clock here. Trojans going for the last second shot. No doubt about it. Winding down. Becca Books with it off the glass, and that's good. And that's going to give the Trojans a 1-point lead here as we go into halftime. Carson, quick thoughts right here before we take a break here. 28-27, Taylor leads. What are your thoughts about the second quarter for Taylor?
Well, they turned on the gas from going from 5 points originally in that first quarter to 23 in the second. Huntington staying about the same, 13 in the first, 14 in the second. So they're playing the way they need to, but they're going to have to start working defensively. The three-point play became huge in that one, and especially foul trouble. 4 points, 3 points coming from the line definitely made a difference, and they didn't want to go into the locker room with a 1-point deficit, but that's the reality, and Coach Culler is going to have to motivate her girls to do better.
28-27 your score. Your Forsters trail by 1 here inside Platt Arena. It's senior day. We're going to have some halftime stats as well as the second half action on the other side of this break. This is HU women's basketball right here on FDN Sports.
So Powder Puff football is 2 teams. divided up by floors, and then they all have flags, so it's just a flag football game. And so we have the 2 end zones, and it's just like a regular game. We usually play 2 20-minute halves, and it's just a good time for everybody to get some football in since we don't have a football team here as a sport.
Let's go, Nice, go, oh, snap.
Powder puff to me is something that actually opened me up at Huntington.
And for me, just as a freshman, obviously, like I get to know all the different girls on my floor, and we all grow closer together.
Powder puff just means a lot of unity between the girls on the floor, and just provided a lot of good fun between all the other girls on campus as well.
Powder puff means to me, it just signifies some of the best times that you're going to have during homecoming weekend.
What does it mean to impact your community? As a broadcast media major at Huntington University, you'll explore that question and uncover the heart of storytelling. Tell real-life stories of the world around you from day one and uncover why it matters to the campus, community, and beyond. It could be in our live TV studio through our award-winning newscast, broadcasting home athletic events, or running HU's very own radio station. You'll have the opportunity to use industry standard equipment from 4K cameras to instant replay to better prepare you for a future career. In addition to foundational courses, you'll have the chance to specialize in church media, corporate media, news, or marketing and sales. Or spend your last summer interning in one of America's largest cities, Phoenix, Arizona. In this one-of-a-kind opportunity, you'll have a home base at Huntington University's Arizona Center for Digital Media as you launch into professional opportunities catered toward your area of interest and enjoy the sunshine in the process. Your professional network begins as soon as you become a Forester. Broadcast media majors at HU have a long-standing history of success in the job market. You'll be connected with alumni who have gone before you, not to mention all of your professors have industry experience. You've been given a gift. Why not use it to impact your world for Christ? Huntington University Broadcast Media. Real life stories, real world experiences. Impact your community.
I am Dr. Fred Miller. I am the Department Chair of Kinesiology and also an exercise science professor at Huntington University. Huntington University is unique as far as they get a lot of one-on-one attention from the professor, helping them learn the information or helping them minister a test, whereas some universities you don't get that one-on-one from the professors. One of our themes focuses is on being a Christian and trying to be a good role model for others. We're here, we really care about the student, we want to see that student succeed, not just preparing them for their future career, but also we want to prepare them to be a servant for God. Huntington University, we have a lot of equipment that students will get an opportunity to use and experience. Some of the equipment we have include a bod pod, which is very famous. We also have other interesting equipment that students will get to use. That equipment includes a VO2 Max, a metabolic cart system. There's also a lot of equipment including other health measures. Students will get plenty of opportunity to learn how to use all this equipment, and they will get administering it to other students. Oftentimes, students who get an undergraduate degree in exercise science will go on to physical therapy school, or even they will go on to physician assistant school. And then also another common career path for students is to become a strength conditioning specialist and mainly work with athletes. Exercise science is a degree where students will gain a lot of knowledge about health, but having someone that has the knowledge and experience to help an individual to get fit, to get healthy is important. And students at Huntington University, they learn about knowledge that's credible and that's important for students to have so they can help these individuals.
Everything has a beginning. A moment where a dream becomes an idea, and an idea a creation. Cutting-edge creators are engaging in the ever-changing medium of digital media. But one thing never changes, and that's story. We are storytellers. Whether it's on set, in the lab, or in the field, we are always looking to understand the heart of society and explore the depths of human nature. The goal is to make captivating, moving narratives that the world will want to view and cherish. But the journey to that goal is vital. Where you learn and how you learn makes all the difference. Every great movie or broadcast has a creative body working behind it, and those artists and technicians had to learn, had to start somewhere. They needed a place to tap into their passions and train in their craft. Digital media is a living, breathing thing, consisting of a network of moving parts. Different skills are necessary for a healthy creative body. Some skills you may not have even heard of yet. And without each of those individual breathing parts, we would look and sound a whole lot like this. We need you. In Huntington University's Digital Media Arts Department, you get your hands on equipment from day one. You don't have to wait a few years to get in the studio or get on a set. In your first year, in your first semester, you'll work in supporting roles on underclassmen projects and even get to develop your own stories. So, you want to operate the Red? We can do that. Want to learn how to use a Cintiq? We got you covered. How about anchoring a live TV studio? Yeah, we got one of those too. You may not have a clear plan in mind, or may not know what your interests are yet, but your years at Huntington are time for self-discovery and to embrace your passions. One thing's for sure, the professors are always a source of encouragement and ongoing advice, who more than anything want to see you succeed and grow in those passions. You may be missing home, but rest assured, you always have a family to turn to in this department. Not only does the program grow your technical and artistic side, but it also pushes you to seek truth and grow in your walk with Christ. The power of story itself derives from Jesus. Our artistic skills and visions can be a most meaningful form of worship. The real world starts before that diploma is handed to you. You have opportunities to build up your demo reels, travel for your craft, and work with clients. We prepare you for a life in LA if you choose, possibly a career at DreamWorks, or maybe you work for a professional sports network. Our students are putting out good work and showcasing it to the world. We attend a number of conferences, festivals, and competitions each year. I'll let our awards speak for themselves. And get this, 93% of our graduates are working or in grad school. So this goes out to all the storytellers, dreamers, and artists out there, looking for a place to call home the next 4 years, while honing their creative minds and skills. So what do you say? Are you in?
It's on the... Ah! He made it! Oh my God!
A home run for right fielder Adrian Perez.
Perez started playing baseball at a young age, where he fell in love with the sport. Then, when he made it to high school, everything changed.
When I was a junior, this guy saw me in Florida playing, and he asked me if I want to stay in Florida for better education and find like a scholarship or something in the USA.
This was an offer that Perez and his parents didn't see coming, but there was another curveball on its way.
In that year, my mom got cancer. When that happened, she talked to me and said, do you dream? Like, go follow your dream. I'm gonna be fine.
So he listened to his mom and started playing for the Iowa Lake Community College Lakers in 2015. That's when he earned the nickname Big Shot. But in the midst of his great success with the Lakers,
I hurt my hamstring in a scout day in Iowa Lakes.
Perez returned to Puerto Rico for therapy in December 2017. After weeks of therapy, he walked his mom through her final days.
My mom passed away after 2 years.
To honor his mother and follow their dreams of going pro, Perez returned back to the U.S.
At that point, I got hurt, and all the school again is NAIA, but I don't want to talk to nobody. And that frame, Coach Friend's son, he called me over and over and over. But all the school, the NAIA just sent me over. He was the only one he want to talk to me. So I told him, I can't play baseball right now. I'm just trying to rehab and everything. I said, he don't matter. I'm going to give you a good offer so you can come to Huntington University and play here, and we're going to take care about the hamstring, everything. He offered me the offer, and I didn't even call my dad. I said, okay.
So Perez and the Forsters made it official.
I signed, called my dad, tell me I think I made the right decision.
While at HU, Perez remembers that he's almost 9 hours away from his family.
The adversity just helped me go through everything in that point. My dad always watching me in the TV, so when I go to him, I make a sign, so he know he know I just want to play for them.
And welcome back inside Platt Arena. Once again, Ryan Lockhart joined by Carson Watkins. Your Forsters trail by 1, 28-27 here inside Platt Arena. We have about 2.5 minutes left. Carson, in that first half, we saw quite a bit of action. First quarter, Forsters owned that one, caused turnovers, hit shots. Second turnover, same script, different team though. It was the Trojans that did it. Now you look halftime, it's a 1-point ball game. Really, you can go back to the old coaches saying where you can throw out the score per se and just play basketball. But what adjustments need to be made first for the Trojans to keep this lead and expand on it?
Well, they're going to have to keep hitting those threes, and that's going to be really important for them to make sure they keep hitting that three-pointer. And also they're going to have to avoid those turnovers. You know, about 10 turnovers, 11 turnovers in that first half. Not ideal. That's 11 possession. That's potentially around, 20 points or so if you need those. If all those turnovers resulted in points for them, different ball game. So they're going to have to watch those turnovers. They're going to have to keep hitting those threes and keep applying that full court press.
Now for Huntington on the other side, you know, we mentioned it was a tale of two quarters almost. Now to go into the second half, what do you think adjustments they need to do defensively to slow down Taylor?
Well, they're going to have to keep they're going to have to keep those turnovers, and that's for sure. Those turnovers are going to be crucial to them, for one. Secondly, they're going to have to watch that full court press that if Taylor keeps applying it. That full court press was really important in that second half, and also we're going to see what impact Sarah Fryman makes in her last two quarters inside Platt Arena.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We've seen contributions from quite a few girls tonight as we take a look in the stats first for the visiting Trojans, leading them in scoring. Books. The Book sisters, Abby and Becca, both 8 points apiece. Becca Books does have 5 rebounds. Abby has 2 to go along with hers. Becca Books 1 assist as well. Carson, from the field, Becca Books 2 of 3 from deep. Abby Books 1 of 1. Other than that, though, Sydney Huffman, she's got 3 assists for the Trojans. Deckert been relatively quiet, 1 of 3 from deep. Only has 3 points in this ball game. On the other side for your home Forsters, leading them in points, we have a tie between Fryman and Rongos at 6 points apiece. Now, Fryman was out quite a bit with those 2 early fouls. We'll see her as you see the girls working on their handshakes a little bit there. Right behind them, though, Drake off the bench with 5 points. So once again, the bench showing their presence tonight. And Carson, you look at total points. Huntington for their bench, only 3 from Taylor, that 3 by Decker. On the other side for Huntington, they have 16 points from their bench, a big number for them.
Absolutely, and you know, as you mentioned before, Sarah Fryman going out really impacted this team, and so we're going to have to see how she's back in this game, but she's going to have to stay out of foul trouble in order to keep this going.
Fryman does have 5 rebounds as well. We'll see if she can get hot again early here. The Forsters look good when she's been on the floor. A turnover here by Bope. Bope just really fell into that double team, and Gave him the ball there.
Not a great start for the Foresters. Not exactly what you want to see if you're a Forester faithful. A turnover on that opening possession could be a tie turner already.
About a 10-second possession that was too. Now kick out Stratman, spot up three, way too strong there. And Clement comes up with it.
Good rebounding there by the Foresters, especially even if the Trojans did grab it, there was no shot clock reset due to it not hitting the rim. So here comes Fryman. Let's see what she can do.
Fryman picked up by both. Bookchester now puts a shot up. Oh, another charge called. Carson, have we saw a block tonight?
I don't know.
A blocking call?
I think we've seen one or two, but they're few and far between.
Wow, that's interesting there. Quite a few charges called. Usually it goes the other way around. We see a lot of blocking calls, not a lot of charging, but
I think Sarah Fryman got up and just started laughing, if I'm not mistaken. She was like, I don't believe she agrees with the call, but you know, you got to play on. And she gets a turnover for revenge, it appears.
Fryman able to pick off that pass by Becca Books. Now with three from Moore, too strong. That goes to Huffman. And now Huffman's looking to push. She's got Netzley on her left. Decides to take herself. Now the pass Netzley. Three from the corner. That's good.
Sinks it.
And the Trojans extend this lead 31-27 now. They are 6 of 14 from deep after starting 1 of 5.
As we mentioned in the pregame, that perimeter defense is going to be important, as well as not turning the ball over, as we see what she can do. As Bope has it inside the paint, and another turnover. No, it will not be. It will go out of bounds. A little scary there. I think the heart rates of most of Forester Nation kind of spiked there. A 6-point lead isn't hard to come back from, but the way this Trojan team's shooting, it's not where you want to be. Fryman turns around.
Wow, what a spin by Fryman inside. She had more to her left open. Decided to take it herself, and she gets points out of it.
Good job by her. You know, that spin move was nasty, as the kids say, I believe. She turned around and got the two that she needed. Now it's only a 2-point game. This is a critical defensive possession.
Netzley gets Bope up, goes right around her, and gets the bucket. What a beautiful move from the senior there.
We are talking obviously a lot about these Forester, but 5 starting seniors for this Trojan squad. Their careers winding down too. I mean, as a 3-pointer made right there, but their careers are winding down. As here comes Books, as she misses a 2 and a rebound, and Bope grabs that one. Maybe I can finish this time. If their season's running down, granted, granted a tournament run, their career in basketball is winding down.
Now we're gonna get a stop here as Fryman has
a
blood on her knee. They're gonna give her 20 seconds, and Rongos is gonna come in for Bope.
Let's see what Rongos can do. As
one of our trainers, Chris Burden, you see him over here in the gray, trying to help out Fryman.
Make it quick too.
And now a little confusion here as Rongos originally come in for Bope, but because Fryman's out, well, Fryman's back in now, so Bope will take a seat. We'll get it figured out here eventually, Carson.
Yeah. I was a little bit confused there myself, but nonetheless, now we're starting the game up again.
I believe they gave the Foresters 20 seconds to clean it up and get her back on the floor, so that's why the argument was that Bope had to stay on.
Okay.
Now a bad pass to Netzley from Huffman. She's able to corral it, though. 17 on the clock. Netzley trying to get around. Poke there by Fryman.
They're going to give that one to the Foresters. I didn't see it hit off any Trojans, but the call's the call.
Carson, I think the best way we can sum it up is saying it's been an interesting senior night here inside Platt Arena.
It has been very interesting, and I did believe this would be a high-scoring game. That's exactly what we're getting as the Foresters look to take the lead here.
Fryman trying to get around Books. Becca Books it was. She was able to poke the ball away after Fryman was trying to get really open for about the whole possession, it seemed like. Back door.
And a blocking foul. for maybe the first time tonight, I think. That foul.
That's going to send Abby Books to the line once again. The Trojans in this ball game, a perfect 3 of 3 from the free throw line.
Make that 4 for 4. I think most of those came from Abby Books, if not all of them.
Abby does have all 4 free throws now.
That's going to be really important for the Foresters. Make sure that she doesn't get to the line. Those free shots could be differential in this game.
First miss of the day from the free throw line there by any of the Trojans and by Books. Rongos wants Fryman. Abby Books making her work for it. Fryman looks a little frustrated, trying to go into that double team. And a block's called now.
They're going to give that one
to number 20, Netsley.
And I think Sarah Fryman thought she was going to get a charge again, but they will give the blocking foul, but that will not result in shots as she was not going up with it quite yet.
Into Fryman they go. Clement, the corner 3, left it short. The Book sisters fight for the rebound, and Becca comes up with it. Handoff, Netsley, Huffman now inside to Stratman. Long pass, Rongos is there to make up for it. Stratman looking for the turn. Oh, wow. They call a foul there. Oh, boy. Stratman creating.
I'm not exactly sure, but the free throw is made.
Stratman able to hit that one. Stratman at the free throw line this season is a 78% free throw shooter.
And give her a second one as a 4-point, a very unfortunate 4-point lead now.
Carson, I said it just a few minutes ago. It's been an interesting ball game inside Platt Arena. Now a foul on Stratman. 36-32 is your score.
I will
with
say something about these
5:45.
These Forester women's basketball fans are very vocal from the crowd. Let's see what Moore can do. Now Rongos has the ball. Fryman has it. 5 seconds remaining on the clock. She's looking for something.
Now Moore puts one up off the glass. No good. I believe the clock should have expired.
Yeah,
it didn't go off, though. Coach Martinez definitely not happy here.
I think Brooks started jumping around too. I don't know if it hit the rim or not to reset it. Now a discussion taking place as a quick timeout.
Not a timeout. I believe the officials are just discussing it here. 36-32 your score. 5:24 remaining. We'll see the replay of it here.
Let's see if it
does.
does.
Shot put up. Looked like they reset the clock. And now they're going to go ahead and take a look at this one.
All right. Now we're going to have to see. This is critical because those two shots could be important.
Once again, your score 36-32 with 5:24 remaining. It was that big second quarter by the Trojans that got them back in this one, 23-14. And as you see the replays of this one, you can see it for yourself. Unfortunately for the Foresters, Carson, I don't believe it's going to turn out in our favor.
It doesn't look like that, unless it did just gently tap off maybe the bottom of the rim, but it doesn't look like it changed any direction. And I think that might be the key for these officials here to see if it did change direction.
Yeah, for sure. As we look at some leaders in this ball game, first for Huntington, Fryman leads scoring and rebounds, 8.7 rebounds. Netsley leads scoring with 10. Books leads with 6 rebounds.
And
now both coaches are going to get explanation here from the officials.
Not exactly sure what's going on in this. Maybe I think it might be time that we get a mic'd up in here for one of these officials so I can hear what's going on. And now I think we're gonna get an explanation just to the scores table, and
the call has been reversed here.
It will be a shot clock violation for the Foresters. Now the Trojans are gonna need to capitalize on this, and especially getting that little timeout.
36-32 your score. We're back to basketball here. It's been an interesting one all throughout. Huffman looking to drive, gets around Clement and scores.
Got through about everybody on the Foresters there. Now here comes Hamill, pass that to Fryman. Fryman sends that one into Rongos. So the travel's called on Rongos from the back court. Now Stratman's going to inbound this ball into Huffman. Another important defensive possession for the Foresters that could be influential in the ending of this game.
Netzley, Rongos on her. She drove to the hoop last time and got a bucket. Looking to do the same here. Kick out Huffman. Huffman kick back. Netzley, open 3, spot up and left it short. Fryman and Rongos fight for the rebound as Rongos comes up with it. That's rebound number 2 for her in this one.
And
inside to Fryman they go.
That rolled through about everybody, just like a bowling ball. It's kind of went down the lane, and eventually it was picked up by the Trojans.
Now inside, Fryman able to steal that one.
Good job by Fryman there. The official didn't pay notice that she almost stepped out of bounds, but she was able to keep her feet on the yellow of the wood and not touch that black line.
Fryman a pull up here, no good. Hamill gets the rebound, gives it off. Fryman the touch, and that's good. They hook up for the assist and bucket there. Under 4 to play in this third quarter, and we have a 4-point ball game.
Those best friends are enjoying their last night in Platt Arena together, that's for sure.
Right now, Marion's up on St. Francis 33-26. Hamill come up with that one. Ball kicked around. No push-off called there. Definitely could see the extended arm of Becca Books. Deckert's going to come in now for Huffman.
The good news is the Foresters still get the ball. I think there might have been a little bit more uproar if the Foresters would not get the ball after that push-off. But the Foresters will get a call. There is actually a discussion going on.
And I believe it might be about what we discussed, Carson.
The push-off. It was a shot clock discussion.
They're going to put 26 on the shot clock here. Drake gets the ball poked away. Fryman with it, hand off to Drake. The Foresters need to be aware of a bunch of different things here, especially where players are behind them. Now Ron goes to floater and gets that to fall. This is a 2-point ball game.
Everyone, make sure you got a cup of water for this fourth quarter. You're going to need it.
38-36 your score. 3 minutes exactly on the clock. Netzley with it, out Deckert the 3. That's off to the right. Stratman comes up with it. Hamill collides with her, but that's going to stay here.
Interesting chain of events there below the hoop. And another discussion. Now that will be a foul.
They're going to put 11 on the shot clock here.
That is crucial for the Trojans. A lot less time to get a shot off now.
And to Becca Books, they go 10 on the clock here. She's driving on Rongos. Good defense by Rongos. Fryman trying to come up with the rebound. Hamill pokes it away from Becca Books. And now up Clement they go. She's off and running. Netzley on her. Now Clement hits it. Tie. Ball game with 2:30 to go here in this third quarter.
That was an important offensive possession. Foresters on about a 6-0, maybe 4-0 run right now, and that was good enough for them to tie this ball game up with 2:25 remaining.
And it seems like putting Fryman on Stratman has worked so far. It doesn't on this possession, of course, as I say it, Carson, but so far Rongo switching on to Becca Books and Fryman on to Stratman has worked out for Huntington.
Maybe when we make analysis, we should just keep knocking on this wood right in front of us.
Kick over, Rongo's high pass. They keep it in bounds now. 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Hamill thinks about the three, takes it, and she hits it! Huntington regains the lead by 1 here, 41-40.
What a great shot by her, especially when we saw...
Block here by Drake. Drake got all of that one. That's going to be block number 4 for Huntington, and this one as Stratman takes a seat and Huffman checks back in.
Brooks a little frustrated below the hoop, but I think she's used to these large leads. I don't think the Trojans were expecting this much of a fight. When the Forces went to Upland, it wasn't this close, so I don't think the Trojans were quite ready for all of this, but this is the game they got to play. 1:37 remaining.
Brooks picks up the shot, gets it to fall. Almost looked like a prayer there she put up. Regains the lead for the Trojans, 42-41. They kick it outside. Rongo, she takes the 1 step back. No good, and ball goes out of bounds, but it's going to stay here. And the Forcers look like they want to go inside to Fryman, but every time they do, they force it. And it's just a few seconds too late.
Obviously we know Sarah Fryman is a proficient shooter, but if you're going to turn the ball over, it's going to have to rely on somebody else on the squad to take that shot.
Fryman shot no good. Rongos comes up with it. Deckert swiping at it. They get it out to Clement, to Drake. Hamill, she'll take a 3, in and out, no good.
That rolled around the entire rim and just could not fall in. And I think I'm going to start sounding like a broken record saying important possession, but I think for the rest of this game, I think every possession is going to be important, especially if the game stays this close.
3 by Books. That's in, out, and back in again. 45-41 the score with 40 seconds remaining here. Taylor's lowest output of the year was a 55-point loss to Marion. Fryman inside to Hamill. Hamill gets around the defense, shot no good.
Books take this one up, and you mentioned about Marion. That's going to be the Foresters' toughest test this Saturday at Marion. That's going to be a tough one for them and a really important win in Crossroads League standings as the Trojans look to take the last shot of the quarter yet again.
Trojans up 45-41 here. Hand off to Deckert. Hamill's on her. Inside Netsley. They caught Fryman sleeping. There's 2 on the clock. They're not going to be able to get this one off. 47-41 your score here after 3. We got 1 more remaining as the Forcers receiving votes try to take down number 7 Taylor on senior day. We'll be right back. Welcome back inside Platt Arena. Once again, your Forcers trail by 6. It's been a tight ball game all throughout, but Taylor has won the last 2 periods, outscoring Huntington 23-24 in the second and 19-14 in the third. But the Foresters looking to outscore the Trojans. Huffman holds it here. She'll give it off. Deckert, right wing, back to her. They go 13 on the clock. And they call a foul here. That foul on number 3, Rongos. That's going to be the second foul on Rongos.
And another thing to point out, Sarah Fryman with 3 fouls. She was able to stay out of foul trouble during that third quarter. Only 1 charging foul, I believe. But that's going to be crucial this fourth quarter that she cannot foul out of this game for the sake of the Foresters.
Ball kicked over. Netzley. Mentioned Netzley was the Crossroads League Player of the Week for last week. Blocked there by Drake. That's number 2. Drake got a piece of another one.
And Decker went straight to defense. No hesitation from her, and that's going to have to, I think that's going to be the Trojans' game plan for this next 9 minutes.
Carson, between Rongos and Drake, there's a lot of potential. Rongos not able to get that one to fall. Netzley comes up with it. Now she's off and running. She'll give it up. Huffman. But there's a lot of potential between those two, let alone a few of the other underclassmen on this team. And Coach Culler has quite a few recruits coming in as well. So next year, the Foresters looking to reload the back door. That one tipped. And they're going to say this is Huntington ball.
Yeah, that backdoor pass is becoming an issue for the Foresters. Their Trojans are finding a lot of good passes right under the hoop, going up for easy layups. Sarah Doy's going to take this one across.
Fryman, step back 3. That's good! She hits it for 13 in this ball game and cuts Huntington back to within 4.
That was an important three-pointer, if anything. That's exactly what they needed. Now this lead is going to be cut into, but right now it looks like the Trojan strategy is going to be to hold the ball as long as they can and milk that clock.
Becca Books with that kick. Deckard in the corner for 3. Not the
Nails
one
it.
you want to leave open. She's got 6 in this ball game. But Carson, they can't leave the number 1 3-point percentage ranked person in the NAIA open.
Absolutely, and that's a long 2 right there. No good. The Foresters got to maybe a little bit smarter about their shots too if they would have claw back into this one.
Yeah, Huntington down 50-43. And Huffman's going to reset. She's got Fryman on her. 15 on the clock here. Tightly contested ball game here between these two. Out, Abby Books has it now. 8 on the clock. She gives 1 fake. Now back out, Abby looking to kick out, and they're calling a foul on Clement down low.
Now right now, another thing to take into account is that the Trojans are inching towards a bonus here, and that's going to be another, especially if one more foul is called, I believe that will lead to bonus territory, and there needs to be intentional fouling at the end. The Foresters do not have fouls to give.
Huffman with it now. Netzley scoring leader for Taylor with 17. Huffman loses it momentarily. Kick out. Abby Books a 3. Left it short. That's an air ball. And Fryman comes up with it. She'll give it off to Hamill. Now we'll see if the Foresters can get any points on this possession here. Fryman goes around Books, puts one up, and that's good. Fryman starting to cook now. Our man Abdul says it. She likes to cook out here, and she's doing it right now. She's got 14 in this ball game.
Absolutely, and that's going to be critical. 5 points, but once again, Trojans milking the clock.
And a smart move by head coach Jody Martinez, looking for win number 80 for the Trojans during his Trojan career here. Looked like a little push, no call. Coach Martinez 79-19 in his 3 seasons. Books in trouble with a double team. Hamill comes up with the rebound. She's trying to get around, get some open space. Drake a 3, too strong.
That was a good job by Sam Hamill on that rebound. We saw her.
And they call a travel on Decker. Doy was right there as she come down with the ball. And a frustrating play as that's turnover number 17 for the Trojans.
But once again, good job by Sam Hamill on that last rebound. We saw that 2 Trojan girls went in for the same time, and she tucked it almost like a running back. Football reference yet again, number 3. But she tucked it like a running back and was able to get a possession there.
Fryman off the front iron, no good. Ain't growing up, that's good. Cindy with 4 points now. The seniors stepping up here on senior day inside Platt Arena. 3-point ball game, 50-47 your score. 5:40 remaining.
Good job by Deja Drake to put pressure on and not make that clock milking so easy.
They're looking for Deckert now over Fisher with it. She gets Fryman up momentarily. 8 on the clock. Huffman trying to go around Drake. She's got 2 blocks. Books with it. Ooh, it looked like Drake got a piece of that one. It looked like all ball, but they're going to say she got her as well. That's going to be foul number 2 on Drake here. As she goes to the free throw line. Excuse me, it's Becca Books at the free throw line. An 89% free throw shooter.
She shows it there.
72 of 80 on the season from the free throw line. So definitely probably the last Trojan you won at the line here.
Absolutely correct, Ryan.
Granted, her sister does shoot 87%, and Deckert shoots 86%. So they're really all right there, Carson. You don't want any of them at the line.
There must have been a lot of days just in front of a basketball hoop at the Books house just for hours.
The free ones count for a lot when you can hit them. Entgroin gets Books up. They're not going to do anything with it. About 5 minutes to play here. Deckert gets a screen. Shot good by Doy. Doy getting another one to fall for 5 points now for her. Under the 5-minute mark to play.
Let's go, Green.
And Huffman going to kill the clock a little bit more. Deckert with it outside now. Fryman leading scorer with Netsley at 14 apiece. Books got a hand on it, but it just knocked it out of bounds. Fisher takes a seat now as Abby Books back into the ball game.
Good heads-up play by Decker there. The ball was thrown behind her, and she was able to pick it up.
Carson talked about how Coach Martinez looking for win number 80. In his career, he is 488 and 203 overall. Shot off the glass, no good. Gets mixed around. Fryman going back up.
Oh!
Can't get it to fall there, but a foul going to be called. That's going to be on number 40, Abby Books. And Fisher's going to check in for Deckert now. That's going to be the first foul on Abby Books.
I think that's good for the Trojans now that she can have a couple fouls to give too as Fryman nails her first one. Fryman shooting about 90% from the line.
Fryman's second one on the way and good there. 1 point ball game inside Platt with 4:20 remaining here. The Trojans look to kill some clock again. Coach Martinez in his first season was 24-11. Big turnover here. The Foresters looking to regain momentum and the lead on this possession. Carson, last season the Trojans won the Crossroads League regular season for the first time since '98. Back when it was still the MCC conference. Fryman a three. Bang! She hits it! Sarah Fryman! Ballers ball out today, and it's senior day. What a special day for her and the rest of these seniors. They're all hitting big shots here. 54-52, the score here.
Trojans down 2, still milking the clock, but somebody make sure Sarah Fryman's warm with all that ice in her veins.
And so far, when the Trojans milk the clock, the Foresters have went on a run. 10-5 in this fourth quarter. Becca Books can't leave her open, and she makes them pay. She gives the Trojans a 1 point lead again. It's going to be a full timeout. We're going to go ahead and keep it right here, though. 55-54 the lead. 3:30 remaining. Coach Martinez trying to pull this one off with a big three by Becca Books. He was the 2019 Crossroads League Coach of the Year. In 20 of his 21 seasons as a head coach, Carson, his teams have won at least 20 ball games.
Absolutely, and that just shows what a great coach he is. And you can see right now, taking that timeout right when it was needed. He knew the Foresters had momentum, but that clutch three right there by Books really was a momentum change.
No doubt about it. Now, Carson, 1 point ball game, 3:30, so there's still a ton of basketball to play here. do you kind of start to worry a little bit now if you're either one of these teams? You know, I know the nerves are starting to ramp up, but are you still just playing basketball at this point?
I still think you're just playing basketball. You're close enough, but here's the thing. You have to play basketball, and you have to play basketball smart. We saw about 2 possessions ago a sloppy pass that went to air, I believe, just fell right into the Trojan bench. And, you know, on both sides, those mistakes will be costly this late in the game. So play basketball. It's not freak out time yet. It's close enough. It's not freak out time, but if you're not going to play smart, you might as well take a seat.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Coach Culler all-time against the Trojans is 33-40. Taylor did beat Huntington earlier in the season, 68-53. Shot off the glass, no good there. Hamill able to come up with it and give Huntington another possession here. Fryman inside to Entgroin. She'll take the shot, short corner, too strong. Dowie gets a hand on it. She comes up with it there. That's offense rebound number 8 for Huntington. Now Fryman with it. She gives it off Hamill. Hamill's got some open space inside.
Finally!
56-55. Huntington regains the lead.
Now the question
Carson,
here.
you said earlier blood pressure is going to be pumping high here. I don't know if it was earlier for me, Carson, but now I think I can attest to it.
You know, it's a straight shot from here to Upland, about 50 minutes, and that's going to be a tough one. I don't know. I think maybe either team who wins tonight maybe get some Ivanhoes after this.
You know, that might not be a bad idea. We might need to talk about this. You know, loser buys Ivanhoes for the other team. Fryman step back. No good off the glass.
That could have been a game changer.
Fryman's been hot. She has 19 now over Abby Books. They go Entgroin on her. Becca setting the screen, slips instead. Entgroin goes down. No call. Official says she just fell. Looked like arm was extended.
That's what Coach Culler was saying.
Might have been a flop by Entgroin. She tried to sell it. Nevertheless, it looked like. Now a 2-point ball game. Fryman turnaround, too short. Hamill gets hand on 1-on-4, and Hamill comes up with it. Netzley fouls her. That's going to be foul number 3 on her. 1:48 remaining.
As Decker comes back into this game, and she's been incredibly crucial for this Trojan squad tonight. So, in an important 20 seconds right here for the Foresters. Fryman grabs it off a lob pass.
Hamill does have 9 rebounds in this ball game. Entgroin hits that one, and she ties it back up. We're gonna have a close one between these two here.
As Dick Vitale would say, we got ourselves a barn burner baby.
You know, I wanted to say it, Carson, but I hesitated for a moment.
Is it trademarked? I hope not.
You know, if it is, you're the one getting the check, not me.
Oh, man. I might have to ask for a raise.
10 on the clock here. Becca Books with it outside. Entgroin on her. They give it off to Huffman. She's trying to drive on Dowie. Dowie, good defense off the glass, and that's good.
That one sinks. 1:07 remaining. Maybe the most crucial possession tonight.
The Trojans getting up as their girls are on defense here. Dowie inside to Entgroin. Back door was open. Jump ball, it's going to stay here. It's going to stay here for the Foresters. But Netzley, what a great play by her to come over as Entgroin turned and be able to grab that one. Books just kind of let her set there, but great play by her defensively.
I think every head in Platt Arena looked towards that possession arrow.
Fryman tripped on the inline by Abby Books, only her second foul, so no foul trouble for the Trojans. Outside of Netzley with the 3. Our very own Adrian Perez, you see her mopping it up. It was his birthday yesterday. We gave him 1 shout out. I don't think we can give him 2.
Oh, now he's just being greedy.
Fryman with it, picked by Hamill. And they're going to call a block here. The Trojans in disbelief. Carson, I've seen our very own calls go the opposite way, so I think I'm okay with that.
I think fair is fair. I think there's been a couple of calls similar to that one that the Trojans have gotten.
Not saying that wasn't a block call.
I'm saying what I'm saying. You know.
Now that does give Netzley 4 fouls. She does have 14 points. She gets hit by a screen.
Another.
And that's going to be 5 on her now. Coach Martinez not happy at all.
Now, one thing to mention, the Foresters have had the ball for about 20 seconds with 0 shot clock violations.
Coach Martinez not happy about the call. With 5 fouls, Netzley's going to sit down with 14 points and 2 rebounds as Fisher checks back in for her. Madison Fisher, number 23, the junior guard. She's a transfer from Benedict University. Hamill at the free throw line. First one's good.
Let's see if she has ice in her veins for a second.
Carson, you could hear a pin drop on the very opposite corner of wherever you are inside Platt. Second one
down.
Good. Tie ball game at 60 apiece. 40.4 on the clock.
And Platt Arena on their feet. Platt Arena on their feet, and these fans obviously wanting a senior night win, especially. Could you just imagine for these senior parents to see their daughters go out like that?
Full timeout. We're keeping it right here, though. 60 points apiece for these teams. 40.4 seconds left. Carson talked about it at the start of this third quarter. Huntington needed to change the momentum and stop turning the ball over. They've done both of those things. Only 12 turnovers in this ballgame compared to 19 from Taylor. But with arguably maybe only one possession left, depending whatever Taylor does, what's your mindset here for the Foresters? Do you try to be aggressive on defense here, or do you just try to let Taylor see what they can do, then react off of that?
I think here's many scenarios right now. Number one, foolish foul call that could send the Trojans to the line. A three-pointer potentially that could be crucial, and a three-pointer. And then also, if the Trojans just going for a layup and 2, that does beg the question: do you go for the 3 or do you send this into overtime? And also, 10-second differential from the shot clock, from the game clock, all important factors that you have to take in. Because if the Trojans milk this to the very end and make it, you have 10 seconds, and Coach Culler does have timeouts to use. But then you'll have to nail a shot with 10 seconds to go and not a lot of time to react.
Trojans 10 of 22 right now from deep in this ball game. Do they go for a 3 and try to hit a dagger? Mason Dagenkolb hit one last night against the Forster men to really win the ball game for them.
Sarah Doy is going to now approach a little bit, maybe try it, and looks like they are going to milk this.
Now Huffman going to drive here. She kicks it off to Deckert. Double team. Now Hamill picks up. Ball gets stripped momentarily. Fryman, good defense on Books. They get it kicked out. 2 on the clock. No foul called. Fryman with it. And they're going to call a violation, shot clock violation. No foul called. The Trojans not happy about this one. Timeout called by Coach Culler, and the Foresters have a chance with 8.5 seconds remaining. Carson, I think I need to check my pulse rate before we take this because afterwards I don't know how high it's going to be. Wow. What a possession by the Foresters defensively. You can argue there probably should have been a foul called if we're being completely honest. But we've seen that both sides. Fouls haven't been called. Fouls have been called that we've questioned. It's been a total ball game that's just been berserk to say the least.
It has been berserk. And, it's almost March, and this is what college basketball is all about. Even just to mention it, everyone, obviously NCAA D1 basketball gets all the hype, but let's not pretend like this isn't as amazing as well. And now it's just going to be crucial to see what the Foresters can do in this last 8 seconds. Do they go just for a simple layup and maybe risk the final maybe half-court shot or miracle? Do they just go for the 3? Or do they maybe try to draw a foul and just take 2 free easy ones? That's all. But that board has to be magic for Coach Culler.
Well, and see the thing, Coach Martinez, he still has timeouts himself.
Yes.
So if the Foresters take a shot maybe too early and leave time, that can leave time for Taylor to get a rebound, take a timeout. We'll see what happens here. 60-60, your score, 8.5 remaining. Fryman's been hot with 19. She takes it now, drives to the hoop, off the glass, no good. Ball gets tipped around, Ingroin, she puts it up, no good. Fryman tries to put one up, it's not gonna matter. Fryman goes down hard, looks to be okay, 60-60. We have a tie ball game, and Carson, we have free basketball in our hands here. We're gonna take a little pause, we'll take a break and be back for overtime basketball. 60-60 your score. We'll be right back here. Welcome back inside Platt Arena. Once again, another tip here. The Trojans so far played 2 overtime games. They're 1-1 in them. A 77-59 double overtime win against Trinity Christian. Then a 69-63 loss to Grace in overtime.
Let's go, Green. Let's go, Green.
This tip-off important.
Drake able to win it. Fryman gets it. And Hamill able to corral it. Huntington on their side, they have only played in 1 overtime game. That was against Indiana Tech at the start of the season. Huntington turns the ball over here. Now, the Forsters did win that 79-77 with a bunch of late heroics in that ball game. We'll see if they can pull it off again here, though.
Absolutely, and I think those games kind of ring similar. High-ranked team, good offensive battle, and a good run by both teams towards the end.
Indiana Tech was number 4 when we were able to upset them. Taylor ranked number 7 right now. Huffman gets that one off to Abby Books. Abby Books with 14 points. 7 on the clock. Doy, good defense on Huffman. Huffman able to get the offensive rebound, though. Fisher to Becca Books. Now she'll put up a 3. No good. Fisher, the offensive rebound once again. That's number 9 for the Trojans.
Offensive rebounds playing a huge role in this possession.
A minute off the clock here and still no score. Fisher in trouble. Looked like she definitely took an extra step there. Abby Books over. Fryman got a hand on that, caused that turnover. And Doy's going to slow it down here.
Now's the time to calm down, take your shot, take your time, don't rush anything.
What a nice move by Fryman. She sinks the bucket. Give her 21 in this ball game.
Senior night special right here.
Sam Hamill had a triple-double in her last ball game. She's got 7 and 10 right now in this one. 7 points, 10 rebounds, that is. Books, a jab step now. She wanted a back cut, gives it out to Huffman nevertheless. Huntington up by 2. Huffman looking, corner 3, good! The Trojans regain the lead by 1 with 3:12 on the clock.
Aggressive defense still by the Trojans, even with that 1-point lead. Now every basket's going to matter for this final 3.
Fryman looking inside, Inkgroin. Now Inkgroin looking, turn. Fisher able to strip her.
A 3 right here for the Trojans could prove deadly for the Foresters.
Now they get it off Huffman. She'll kill some clock again. Once again, Jamie Netzley out of the game as she fouled out. Big for the Trojans as now Fisher will fill her void here. Good screen by one Book sister, Abby Books. 3 on the clock. She'll put up a floater off the iron, no good. Fryman comes down with it, but somehow Abby Books gets it, gives it to Becca, and they get another shot. 3-point ball game with 2:19 in this one.
If the Foresters want to come away with this one, they're going to have to grab a few more offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds.
Fryman crosses inside.
They're calling that a jump ball.
What? Wow. I've definitely seen some interesting calls here tonight, Carson. You know, as well as the ladies, this will be my last game inside Platt Arena, and this has been a memorable one. The Foresters trying to pull it out here. 3-point ball game, under 2 to go.
Trojans milk the clock, and you see every possession here, they've waited till about 5 seconds or less to take a shot.
Abby Books hand off to Fisher. In trouble, 5 on the clock here. Huffman trying to drive, give to Fisher. Becca Books with it. 1 on the clock, she puts it up. No good there. Doy boxes out, but not to get the ball, to not get the ball.
Absolutely, and that was a good move by her. Stop the clock, let the teams calm down, but the Trojans, even with a 3-point lead, do not neglect that full court press that proved so critical for them in the second quarter.
Hamill brings it up, 1:30 on the clock. She'll give it over Doy. Drake with it. Fryman off a screen. That's good. She cuts it to within 1. Fryman has been red hot with 23 now, Carson. Only 10 in the last game against Bethel, but she's been hot today.
That's for sure. And, I think even she did get a little bit of rest during that Bethel game, just, knowing the cruciality of these last 2 games. 2 top 10 opponents for the Foresters to close out their season.
Under a minute to play here in this one. Overtime basketball. Fisher looking inside, kicks outside to Deckard instead. Hamill on her. Huffman, 3 on the clock. Deckard gonna have to put one up.
They're giving her a shot clock.
No doubt about that one. And now the officials are gonna talk about this one. And they're going to look at this one once again. 48.7 remaining here. 64-65 in Carson, a crucial moment here. Deckard did hit the shot, so if it does go back the other way, I believe they called shot clock.
Yes.
So if it is reversing, the bucket is good. That cuts us back to a 3-point ball game. But let's take a look around the Crossroads League. How are some other teams doing?
Well, Mount Vernon did pull out another win against Bethel University, a 77-61 in the game that every Forester on a shot clock violation is the final call. But in the most crucial game for the Foresters tonight, Indiana Wesleyan leading by 16 with 1:25 remaining in the fourth to the Grace Lancers.
And Carson, that game, because both Huntington and Grace tied at 9 and 7 apiece in the Crossroads League. So if the Foresters able to win this one, you got to imagine a 17-point lead with 1:25 back. Grace isn't coming back in that one. So if Huntington can pull this one out, that would be pivotal for them. Now Coach Culler going to take a timeout. 48 seconds remaining. Coach timeout, 30-second. We're keeping it here, Carson. 1-point ball game.
I just hope everyone at home's okay. I mean, Platt Arena, I've never felt so much tension inside Platt Arena. I mean, I felt in some stadiums, but not quite like this one. But that review, once again, thanks to Miranda Gus, I think Miranda Gus can go home pretty happy that she had a critical part in this game. But just wow, I don't exactly know what to say, but we're going to have to see what Coach Culler drew up, and if she's going to go for the 2 and make the Trojans fight for the lead back, or go for the tie, or just go for 2 and take the lead and maybe try to strip the ball and make them intentionally foul.
Drake gets it into Hamill. Fryman looks inside. They give it Fryman deep. She thought about the 3, now tries to dribble around defense, spin inside, got blocked. But that's going to stay here for Fisher. Netsley fouled out. Fisher's came in, but Fisher's played really well in place of Netsley, the reigning Crossroads League Player of the Week. 37.1 on the clock. Fryman thought about going inside, took 1 dribble. Now they'll give it up to Doy. Inside to Antgroin, they're in trouble. Drake the 3. That's good! Wow! Oh my! 23 on the clock. The Trojans are taking a timeout. 2-point ball game. The freshman, a fantastic shot.
Ice in her veins, baby. That's what I'm talking about. What a shot. She had the wide open look. You can see it right here. She gets the pass. Nobody there. Nothing but net.
Fryman was stuck in the corner. Got it out to Doy. Ingram, they went. The Forcers were just having trouble for a moment. But the freshman comes up with possibly her biggest three of this season. Number 1, Drake. Carson, only her 9th three of the season. 9 of 38 for 21%.
Let's go, defense!
But Deja Drake hitting a crucial shot, and I believe Drake in her high school is the leading three-point shooter in a game with most threes, leading three-point shooter for most in a season, and highest percentage. The percentage one might be off, but I believe the first two are correct. But Carson, nevertheless, what a shot. A 2-point ball game in favor of your home Forcers. Receiving votes, Huntington looking to upset number 7, Taylor. 23.2 remaining, so shot clock is turned off. But Carson, can't forget this Taylor squad. They're known for shooting their threes.
Absolutely.
That is their claim to fame. They broke the record this season for Taylor with 23 in a ball game against Bethel. Now Becca Books looking inside, looks to turn, gets Ingram up, off the glass, good.
Timeout,
8.1 on the clock. Coach Culler is going to take a timeout. The Trojans might be thinking about some double overtime, but Coach Culler, they don't want that double overtime. Full timeout. Once again, we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to keep it right here. 8.1 remaining, 67-67. Carson, I hope you don't have any homework tonight, because we might be here just a tad bit longer.
I got that all done. Don't worry about it, Ryan. But one thing here is we're going to see what Coach Culler draws up. And I think if I was Coach Culler, I think I'm just going for the layup, and that's what she did last time. So we're going to have to see if she decides to change it up and maybe see something that they don't see coming. But I think it is good for the Forcers that they did not hit a three. I mean, it's unfortunate they scored it all, because if right now we'd be looking at intentional fouls. But I think the 2 is going to be smart, and also they need to pull down any rebound that might come, and that's what they did. But after that rebound's pulled down, you have to take a smart shot. 8.1 seconds may not seem like a lot, but right now it is. And also, who's going to be the hero? That's the real question.
In overtime so far this year, Huntington, prior to this ball game, scored 13 points and allowed 11. Taylor on the other side scored 8 and allowed 14. Right now you look at this one, it's knotted at 7 apiece. From the tip, Carson, I think we've had one of the most entertaining ball games of the year. 8 on the clock, handoff to Fryman. She uses a pick, gets a 3 up off the backboard, no good. The Trojans call a timeout with .5 left.
Wow.
They're going to go ahead and take a look at this one.
Oh, my goodness. Miranda Gus getting a workout back there. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised to see the three-pointer there. That was, they had 5 fouls. They could have easily taken one and just got back to the line or whatever. And Coach Martinez having a little bit of words with the officials, making sure there's enough time left.
Yeah, Fryman, no doubt, trying to play spoiler, upset hero to Taylor with that 3 heavily guarded there. And I think she wanted to shoot it off the screen. That's why she picked up her dribble, but the defense just closed in really quick there.
Absolutely, and she was about triple team, so I was surprised she didn't go for a pass either.
And now they're going to put 1.2 on the clock.
That's crucial for this, but that's still
and a 30-second timeout taken by Taylor.
Another 30 seconds for them. 1.2 left on the clock, and I think that timeout advances it. So a quick shot will be important. I hope everyone's all right at home still.
67-67 your score here. 1.2 on the clock, so an inbounds and a shot. Who does it go to? One of the Book sisters. It is. Fryman gets a hand on it. Carson, you got to finish your homework early once again. We got double overtime on the way. 67 apiece here. We'll be back for one more overtime period, hopefully. This is HU Women's Basketball right here on FDN Sports. We'll be right back.
This is how we like to do it.
Welcome back inside Platt Arena. Once again, double overtime action. Drake wins that one. And the Forcer's going to get the first possession here inside Platt Arena. Doy looking for Fryman. Fryman off one Book sister. Looked like Becca Books was trying to sell it there. Back to Fryman they go. Drake a three. That's no good. Left it short.
Good rebound there by the Trojans, though. A crucial one.
Books gets around Fryman. And a foul called. Carson, I don't see how you don't call the foul on one end, but you call it on the other end. Like, it just mind-boggling. Wow.
A crucial one, too. Good.
And one good. Hopefully Fryman doesn't get fouled on this attempt. Probably won't get called again. Book sisters come out, double her once again. Ankgroin a three.
Got it!
That's good. Cindy Ankgroin, the senior, steps up and hits a three. That's only number 2 on the season.
Wow.
Carson, I think everybody in the gym was thinking, what?
What?
But Ankgroin was thinking, bucket. Her family in attendance here. Definitely a big shot for her.
If the Foresters win this one, that'll be a
They look inside. Hamill got it. Hamill grabbed a hold of that one. She's behind the back. She's looking to run. They get it up to Drake. Drake has an open basket. Now she'll bring it back out. Hamill's got it a three. No good. And Books, Abby Books with the rebound. Huntington may have forced that one. 70-70 your score. 3:30 on the clock here.
I think the entire men's basketball team stood up when she took that shot. Just shows the support these student athletes have for each other. Trojans still milking the clock.
Inside, they look for the back door, not there. Becca Books wants a handoff. She goes into Fryman. Fryman kind of lets her go around there. I think she thought she had help defense there.
Yeah, I think one thing is I think she's a little bit, I think with the inconsistent officiating, I think that she's a little bit afraid to catch a foul and get fouled out in this double overtime.
Drake got her shot blocked. High ball here. Deckert comes up with it. Now Hamill trying to get the ball here. Out. Huffman they go. No travel call there. Missing the easy ones and calling the tough ones tonight's how it's been for both teams. Deckert had to look at a three. She wanted Books off that screen. 8 on the clock here. 2-point ball game. Up. Shot's good by Huffman. She's able to get that one to drop.
Time not to be afraid though. 2:18 left, and a good, 4 points might seem a lot right now, but a 2 can easily change this.
Deckard all over Doi. Hamill with it behind the back. Gives it off Entgrunt. She'll take another 3.
Oh.
No good there.
Got a rebound.
Heroics can't play to it.
Go get her. Go get her.
Under 2 to go here. 4-point ball game. And Martinez takes a timeout. We're going to go ahead and take it with them. 70-74 your score. 30-second timeout. We'll be right back here. Welcome back to beautiful Huntington, Indiana. The State Road 5 rivalry between Taylor University and the Huntington Foresters. 74-70 your score. 1:53 remaining. Carson, the teams didn't agree on it, but I think we did. Loser buys Ivanhoe.
Or maybe we can just get some Ivanhoes. I think that sounds a lot better.
You know, if you want to buy, I will be in for it.
You drive, I buy. We'll call it now.
Foresters need a huge possession here. Doi on Deckert. Hamill comes up with it. She got the steal. Huffman got a hand on it. That's going to stay for the Foresters. 1:34 on the clock. 4-point ball game in favor of the visiting Trojans.
The most important possession of the night right here as Fryman takes it.
Fryman gets the ball stolen away by Fisher. She's been big in this one. And Huffman gets it now. Hamill all over her. She's got quick hands. Huffman needs to protect the ball here for her. Good screen by Books. Now they want to go inside to her. Doi, good defense on Decker. 1:06 remaining. Huffman gets around Entgroin. Inside they go to Books.
Another 3. 1 minute remaining. Down 6. Kohler takes a timeout.
We're going to take it along with them. 76-70. We'll be right back. Welcome back inside Platt Arena. Hamill gets one inside off the glass. That's good. Cuts it back to a 4-point ball game. And Doi fouls right away.
And they have a couple to give, too.
She fouls Huffman. Coach Martinez not happy. Probably not happy because he wanted to go to one of his efficient and high shooting free throw shooters. Huffman instead a 62% free throw shooter. And I think if for Huntington, she's got to be the one you leave open. Hits the first one though. Forcers only have 1 timeout left. 53 seconds remaining. Second one no good. Fryman comes up with the rebound.
Let's see if anybody can be a hero here. That's going to be an incredible.
Hamill looking to drive. That's good. Make this a.
Now what's the? Is there a 30-second timeout?
30-second timeout. So we're going to go ahead and stay right here with it. 3-point double overtime ball game. 43 seconds remaining on senior day. How many other storylines? Oh, I forgot. Receiving votes versus ranked. How many other storylines do you need, Carson? Taylor this season 5-2 versus ranked or receiving votes. One of those losses come in overtime.
Yeah, quite a few. And also, you got to look at Crossroads League standings only about a week out from the tournament. That's also another important storyline here tonight. And barring a miracle, the good thing is if the Trojans miss here and the Foresters can nail a 3, we might see another overtime, or barring maybe even a 4-point play, or if the Trojans could just knock one down here.
Well, good thing for me, the first professor I have in the morning is Mr. Irick, who's currently here, so maybe he'll call off class in the morning if this goes to another overtime.
Or maybe he'll just.
And the Becca books, they get it. Abby books now with it, and Fryman's going to foul her. 39.2 on the clock. Fryman with 4 fouls. Probably not the one you wanted to foul.
Unfortunately not. Well, let's see. These 2 shots are incredibly important. First one.
Sam Hamill does have a double-double with 11 points and 10 rebounds. Fryman 23 points and 9 rebounds right behind her. Hamill has 6 assists to go along with that stat line. Book's second one, good. 79-74 your score. Full court defense put on here by Taylor. Deckert gets out of position. No help there. They go to Hamill. Up Fryman, a 3. No good. Left it short. Abby Book's going to get fouled here. And for the Foresters, you can start to feel it a little bit. Getting out of their grasp.
But what a fight. I think the thing is there such thing as a moral victory? And to my opinion, it's yes. And I think even if they do fall, I think the fact that they put up such a fight is a moral victory, to say it in the least. First one up and good. 6-point gain now, 28 seconds remaining.
28 seconds, still enough time to shock the nation. But they need an efficient offense and miss free throws to do so. There's one of them there. We'll see if the offense can step up now. Fryman's been the hot hand. Do they look to her? Doy can hit a 3. Hamill will take it. No good. Fryman gets the putback there. Drake got a hand on it, and Coach Culler going to use their timeout here. 4-point ball game, 18.4 on the clock.
So the Foresters are going to need a turnover, probably in their own court, twice. A discussion going on yet again. Not exactly sure what it's about.
$80-76 your score here inside Platt Arena, 18.4.
Let's go green, let's go green.
Huntington nevertheless has to foul here. Deckert's going to be the one that inbounds.
Unless they can just grab a turnover, hopefully. And a timeout from the Trojans.
.30-second timeout taken by Coach Martinez, and with that, that'll advance the ball to the front court.
So he can make a play on that one, draw up something, and get them to the line a lot quicker and, avoid a turnover. Because now even if the Foresters grab a turnover, they have quite a bit of court to get up to make a shot.
Rongos did come over to the table to check in. Not sure who she checked in for. It's going to be Entgroin. So on the floor for Huntington, Drake, Doy, Fryman, Hamill, Rongos. On the other side, the Book sisters, Fisher, Deckert, and Huffman. Really, these two lineups on the floor now has been about what we've seen all game long. They're looking to get it in. They do to Becca Books.
Sam Hamill went to the ground. She looks to be a little wobbly.
Looks to be an ankle. She missed 9 games, I believe it was, last year with an ankle injury. Hopefully that's not something she aggravated. Ankle injury is obviously one of the worst kinds of injury you could get.
As an athlete.
Becca Book's first one up and good there. Becca Book's leading free throw shooter on this team coming into the ball game. 89% is what she was shooting. Very efficient from the line. Second one good as well. 82-76 to score. Into Fryman they go. Fryman to Rongos off the glass. No good. Rongos mixed it. Hamill comes up with it off the glass. 10.2 remaining. It's a 4-point ball game. Into Fisher they go, and they foul her right away. Drake exploding out of a cannon to get to Fisher quickly. Now the good news for Huntington, Fisher is only a 78% free throw shooter. And that's 5 fouls now on Drake.
So here comes Clement.
Go Daisy. Go Daisy.
Clement gonna come in. Clement, a big-time three-point shooter, leads the Foresters coming into the ball game with 36 on the season. Fisher's first one no good. Carson, I said it earlier. 2 things need to happen for Huntington to win. They need to be efficient offensively, and they need missed free throws.
And unfortunately,
Fisher's first one no good. Second one's good. 83-78 with 9 on the clock. Up Rongos they go. Rongos looking to drive, step back. Too strong, misses that one. And that's going to be how this one ends. The Taylor University Trojans survive.
Double overtime.
They survive here, won't be upset. Receiving votes, Huntington almost had them. Looked like they had a few great opportunities but couldn't pull through. 83-78 your score. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the coach's interview as well as our wrap-up of the ball game. Coach, girls dropping this one. Very tough effort, a very good program over here in Taylor, though, that you guys played number 7 in the nation. Your girls were up big in the first quarter, and then the middle 2 quarters kind of ran away from them, but you guys got back in it in the fourth. What were adjustments you made throughout to stay in this ball game?
Well, yeah, they were such good three-point shooters, and we knew that, when you have to play that close to a three-point shooter, you open up driving lanes. So we really had to try to step up our one-on-one defense, and I thought in the fourth quarter in particular, we did a better job of just taking away, the threes, but also having some pretty good one-on-one defense. But, they're just too solid, top to bottom, and it's just tough to stop them one-on-one when they have a wide floor to drive into. So I challenged this team to play with toughness today, and I couldn't be more proud of how tough they played. You got people stepping up and hitting huge shots like Deja and Cindy hitting threes there to keep us, right in it. And, just to come out and play as hard as we did and take it 2 overtimes, had 2 chances to win it. Just couldn't get them to fall, couldn't get a call. So, it's kind of, we've been right there all season. I wouldn't want to play us in the tournament. I think, we're going to still make some noise when it comes to that.
Now, Coach, I definitely got to think this will add a little bit more fuel to that fire. You talked about the Crossroads League tournament. Grace dropped their game tonight, so you guys are still tied both at 9 and 8 now. Now, Marion coming up next. Before we get to talking about the seniors, what's the outlook for that ball game? Some things you guys are going to try to do in that game.
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team, too. They have size. It's a 6'4" gal in the middle that's really tough to defend, and on their floor, they're tough. So it'll be a huge challenge for us. We can take from the game we played here. They outscored us in the first quarter, but we outscored them by 14 over the last 3 quarters. So we know we can play with them. We just need to get off to a good start. That's kind of what happened at Taylor, and when we played over there, we got off to a bad start and then played even with them the final 3 quarters. So, a lot of it is how we start, and so if we can, be competitive in that first quarter, I think we'll give ourselves a chance to win.
Now, Coach, before we finish up, your 3 seniors tonight all played big roles tonight. Fryman led you guys in points tonight, but you talked about it. Cindy had a few big shots. Erin Moore early had a few going for her. How big is those 3 been for you over these last 4 years in helping build the culture of this program and just all they've done for your program throughout?
Yeah, I mean, they have been huge in terms of culture. I mean, you can have a team that's really good athletes, but if you don't have, good chemistry on your team and unity among your players and when they're for each other, that won't matter. The talent won't matter. But you can sometimes achieve way more than you should if you have good chemistry and a good culture on your team, and I give them a lot of credit for helping create that. They, came in as freshmen and figured out how that works, and by the time they're a senior, they're making sure it doesn't change on their watch. And, on the court, I mean, obviously they've all played different roles for us, but they've all been very valuable, and we wouldn't be the same team without any one of them.
Coach, tough loss tonight. Rebound. We're excited to see the game against Marion. I think with how the girls played tonight, it'll be a very great game down there in Indianapolis. Good luck in that game.
Great. Thanks, Ryan.
That was Coach Culler. Now we're going to send it over to Carson for our final game stats.
Ryan, as you mentioned, a very tough loss. And it's going to be, that's going to be something the Foresters have to focus on. It was a tough loss, but they did play really well. As Ryan mentioned, Sarah Fryman keeping the torch and leading this team and scoring on her senior night. And obviously that's a tough loss in senior night. But as I said during the contest, there is such thing as moral victories. And I think that's what you can call this tonight. Definitely a moral victory to hold your own with a team like that, especially when the chips were down, they still played hard. And I think that's something that this Foresters team is going to, and I think that shows the heart of these senior girls. I think I saw a couple, a little bit of emotions coming through. But that's going to happen. And it's unfortunate the way this game ended. But like I said, there's such thing as moral victory. And Ryan, I want to get your take on that. What do you think about a moral victory tonight?
Carson, I grew up my whole life, around sports. And, moral victories kind of here nor there. You definitely want the victory, no doubt. The girls played tough today. I think that showed all the way through. I mean, it was a double overtime game.
Yes.
To be honest, I really don't have any exact thoughts on it. I mean, the victory is always better than a moral victory. Yeah. I mean, you can take from a moral victory what you take from it, and at the end of the day, you just move on.
Absolutely, and I think it's obviously going to be something this team focuses on Saturday. And Ryan, this was your last game as well, calling inside Platt Arena. It's been a pleasure for all of us. Do you have any parting thoughts?
First, we're going to go through some stats, Carson. For the Trojans, leading them in points, Becca Books with 24. She also had 9 rebounds, 2 assists to go along with that. Abby Books right behind her, really on her heels. 22 points for her, 8 rebounds. The Books sisters, 6 of 10 from beyond the arc. Outside of that, Jamie Netzley, 14 points. She fouled out before the overtime periods. 7 points for Huffman as well. Trojans shot 47% from the field for the game. Shot 45% from beyond the arc and 80% from the free throw line. For Huntington, leading them in scoring, once again, Sarah Fryman with 25, 2 assists and 9 rebounds, one shy of a double-double. Speaking of double-doubles, though, Hamill right there. She had 13 points and 11 rebounds, 1 of 7 from beyond the arc, and that was one of the things that kind of hurt Huntington a little bit. Their inefficiency from deep, 8 of 26 for the ball game. Senior night here inside Platt Arena, Erin Moore, she finished the game with only 2 points, 1 assist. Played 12 minutes in this game, 1 of 6 for her in the ball game. And probably playing some of her most important minutes of the season, Cindy Entgroin. She had 9 points in this one. Forsters dropped this one 83-78, Carson. But there was 13 lead changes, so we talk about how competitive this game was back and forth. Both teams just fighting for it really all the way throughout.
Yes, that's absolutely right, Ryan, and it was a pleasure to call it with you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Carson, you asked about my final thoughts. I had to cut you off to get to stats first. But my final thoughts here, basketball-wise, it's been interesting.
Absolutely.
My 4 years, I've seen ups, I've seen downs here for both Forster teams. And I'm glad to be a part of both of them nevertheless. We come in with a big freshman class my first year. We had quite a few of us that helped out and still help out now. Got to give huge shout-outs to Kobe Solms, not able to work tonight with us, but Kobe's been very instrumental for us, as well as Paige Schreiber, who's running camera for us tonight. Both of them have put in a lot of time, as well as I have for FDN Sports. But, Carson, just looking back here, my first basketball game I ever called for Huntington was against the Taylor women's team. My last basketball game I'll call is against the Taylor women's team. To say it's a little somber,
be an understatement?
That would be a little bit of an understatement, nevertheless. But I'm thankful for my time here. I can't wait for baseball season. We still have some basketball to play, though. The girls will be in the Crossroads League tournament. The guys do have a chance. They need to win and have Goshen upset Bethel.
Yep.
So we still do have some basketball action. We'll see how things shake out there. But, Carson, it's been a fun ride here for basketball. I just want to say thank you to all the players, the fans that have really showed their support and letting us be along for this ride, and both coaches, Coach Platt and Coach Culler, for dealing with us. I know there were some times that I made it a little bit rough, but it was a blast nevertheless. Our final here tonight, 83-78. The Taylor Trojans win this one. Number 7 stays alive. Receiving votes, Huntington drops this one. We'll see how it pans out. The Forsters take on Marion next. Our thank yous, we got Abdul Kamara, Carson Watkins in the back. We had Miranda Gus, the Herring brothers, Dylan and Jordan, as well as Paige Schreiber. Final 83-78. And for the last time, I'm Ryan Lockhart. Thank you, and go Foresters.